You have swiped left more times than you can count. You have written a bio trying to compress everything you are into 3 sentences, and a photo taken at the right angle in the right light. You have waited for a message that didn't come. You have sent one that was never answered. You have felt the strange hollow feeling of being surrounded by options, and somehow still finding nobody. And somewhere in the back of your mind a quiet question sits. Why is this so hard? The answer is not that you are doing it wrong. The answer is that the entire system is wrong. Not morally, not culturally, biologically, because your brain was not built for this. It was built for something completely different, something older, something simpler, something that worked so reliably for so long that your species survived 300,000 years because of it. Let's go back to before any of this existed, before the app, before the profile, before the performance of attracting someone you have never met. In ancient hunter-gatherer communities, love did not begin with a first impression. It couldn't, because there were no strangers. In a group of 150 people, you already knew everyone. You had known them your entire life. You had seen them frightened and brave, selfish and generous, broken and whole. You had watched them carry something heavy without complaining, or fall apart and come back together. You knew who they were not from what they told you, but from what you had witnessed with your own eyes over years. Love in the ancient world did not begin with attraction. It began with knowledge, real, earned, undeniable knowledge of another person's character. And the brain responds to that kind of knowledge in a way it never responds to a photograph. Anthropologist Helen Fisher at Rutgers University spent decades studying the neuroscience of love across cultures and across history. She identified 3 distinct systems in the human brain that govern how we bond: lust, attraction, attachment. Each one powered by different chemicals, each one serving a different purpose. In the modern world, these 3 systems are constantly triggered out of order. You feel lust for a stranger. You feel attachment to someone you barely know. You perform attraction before you have any idea who the person actually is. The systems collide. They confuse each other. They produce exactly the kind of emotional chaos that most people now accept as simply what love feels like. It isn't. In the ancient world, these systems worked in the sequence they were designed for. You knew the person first. Attraction followed knowledge. Attachment followed time. Each stage built on the one before it, the way a fire builds, slowly, steadily, with a foundation solid enough to last. But knowledge was not the only thing that ancient love was built on. There was something else, something so fundamental to human bonding that modern life has almost completely removed it: shared survival. In a hunter-gatherer community, you did not fall in love across a screen. You fell in love across a fire, in the tension of a hunt where everyone's life depended on everyone else, in the exhaustion of a long journey where the only warmth was another person's presence, in the grief of a loss that the whole group carried together. Psychologists have a name for what happens to people who experience difficulty together. They call it the shared struggle bond. Research consistently shows that people who face challenging experiences together form deeper attachments than those who only share comfortable ones. Your nervous system is designed to trust the person who was there when things were hard. Not the person who looked good in a photo. Not the person who said the right things in a message. The person who showed up when showing up cost something. That is who your brain was built to love. And ancient humans encountered that person every single day, because every single day demanded something real. There was something else in the ancient world that modern love has lost entirely: proximity. Not the forced proximity of a first date where both people are performing. Daily, natural, unavoidable proximity. You cooked beside the same person. You gathered beside them. You sat beside them at the fire every night for years. Psychologist Robert Zajonc proved something in 1968 that changed how scientists understand human attraction. He called it the mere exposure effect. The more familiar a person becomes, the more attractive the brain finds them. Not because familiarity breeds compromise, but because the brain interprets familiarity as safety. And safety is the foundation that every deep human bond is built on. In the ancient world, you couldn't avoid familiarity. It was built into every day. The person you loved was someone your brain had slowly, quietly decided it could trust completely, before the heart ever got involved. And then there was the fire. Anthropologist Polly Wiesner studied the conversations of the Uo-Hoansi Bushmen of the Kalahari Desert, one of the last groups on Earth still living close to the original human way of life. She found that nighttime conversations around the fire were almost entirely devoted to stories, personal stories, emotional stories, stories about love and loss and what it means to be human. During the day, people talked about practical things. At night, they revealed themselves. And revealing yourself to another person, slowly, honestly, over many nights, is not a romantic gesture. It is the biological mechanism through which human beings build the deepest bonds they are capable of. Psychologist Arthur Aron demonstrated in 1997 that two strangers who asked each other 36 increasingly personal questions felt closer to each other than people who had known each other for months. The intimacy wasn't created by time alone, it was created by disclosure, by being seen, by seeing. Ancient humans did this every night, without a protocol, without a study, without being told to, because the fire demanded stillness. And stillness invited honesty. And honesty over time builds something no app has ever replicated. Now think about what modern love asks of you. It asks you to be attractive to someone who doesn't know you. It asks you to be interesting in 200 characters. It asks you to perform the best version of yourself before the other person has any reason to trust you. And it asks you to decide, based on almost nothing, whether this stranger is worth your time. Your brain was not built for this. Your brain was built to fall in love slowly, built to be moved by someone's courage in a difficult moment, by the way they treat someone who can do nothing for them, by the sound of their laugh when they forget anyone is watching, built to trust the person who showed up in the dark and stayed, not the person who looked perfect in the light. The loneliness of modern dating is not a mystery. It is what happens when you remove every condition that human love was designed for and replace it with a marketplace. You were never supposed to sell yourself. You were supposed to be known, slowly, completely, by someone close enough to see the real thing. For 300,000 years, that is exactly how it worked. And the part of you that still aches for it, that still wants to be loved by someone who actually knows you, that part is not asking for too much. That part is asking for exactly what every human before you was given: to be seen, not swiped,